The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. vows to adopt supportive policies to modernize the rice sector.
Senator Ronald Dela Rosa speaks on whether to push for the decriminalization of illegal drug use in the country.
The Philippine Nuclear Research Institute says it is possible for the Bataan nuclear power plant to be operational within 5 years.
And the world's largest active volcano erupts after 40 years in Hawaii.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, November 29, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Hardy Delgado. First in the news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. visited the International Rice Research Institute in Los Baños, Laguna. President Marcos raised the need to adopt supportive policies to modernize the rice sector. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. recreated the photo of his father, former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., with United States President Lyndon Johnson and some scientists on October 1966. PBBM went to the IRRI headquarters in Los Baños, Laguna, where he reenacted his father's photo. The president visited the International Rice Gene Bank, which holds the extensive collection of rice genetic diversity in the world. President Marcos Jr. also witnessed the demonstration of the use of drones for research and production. During the interview with media, the chief executive vowed to modernize the rice sector. He said agricultural technologies are being pursued as rice crops face risk from higher fertilizer prices and challenges in water management.
Ang maganda sa naging resulta nitong bisita ay marami tayong nakita na meron talaga silang bagong technologies that are completely appropriate to the Philippine setting. So nabigyan kami ng pag-asa. Now it's up to us now in the Philippine government to make sure those technologies, those products go down to the grassroots.
In his visit to the IRRI, President Marcos was briefed about the various initiatives being done to improve crop resilience, which includes direct seeding of rice. It offers more sustainable and environment-friendly option, reducing the labor and cost of rice production while significantly lowering water use and greenhouse gas emissions. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections will conduct a special election in the 7th District of Cavite on February 25, 2023. This is to fill the vacated post of Secretary Crispin Boying Rimulya, who is now serving as Justice Chief. Meanwhile, the filing of the Certificates of Candidacy or COC will be on December 5 to 6, 2022.
Automated elections po ang gagamitin natin dito. So yung kami po ay nakahanda mag-imprenta ng balota ng automated, gagamit po ng vote counting machines dito po sa 7th District ng Cavite.
The COMELEC added during the filing of the COC, only one aspirant or candidate will file his COC. There will be no need for special election, but to proclaim the lone candidate in accordance with Republic Act 8295 or the Lone Candidate Law.
Senator Ronald Dela Rosa admits he's now having second thoughts whether to push for the decriminalization of illegal drug use in the country. The lawmaker says he is aware that the proposal has been opposed by various groups and agencies. Dela Rosa clarified that his intention was not to legalize illegal drug use, but to focus on rehabilitation and treatment of drug users.
Pero yung malaki ang opposition, malaki ang objection coming from the law enforcement sector. Kaya nga, sabi ko, nag-iisip ako, nagdadalawang isip whether or not to push through with that particular amendment. Alangan naman, gusto ko ba na pagdating ng araw, dumami ang adik ng Pilipinas, lumakas ang drug problem. Sabihin ng mga taong bayan, yan, nangyari yan dahil sa Bato Law, yung batas ni Bato, na dinicriminalize yung drug using. So, ayaw ko.
Meanwhile, Senator Robin Padilla supported Dela Rosa's proposal. He also proposed to decriminalize possession of small amounts of illegal drugs. However, Dela Rosa said he will study first Padilla's proposal, noting the oppositions against the idea.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has ordered Noel Rosal through the Department of Interior and Local Government to step down as governor of the province of Albay. Dante Amento tells us why.
Commission on Elections, or COMELEC spokesperson Director Jan Rex Laujanco disclosed they have already served the writ of execution over the disqualification of Albay Governor Noel Rosal this morning. Hence, Rosal disqualification is being implemented and it needs for him to step down from the office. Laujanco added the poll body ordered through Interior and Local Government Secretary Benhur Abalos Jr. for Rosal to vacate his post.
Kaya nga po nilabas ang writ of execution ay para ma-implement na po kagad at makaupo under the Local Government Code's rule of succession yung incumbent vice governor. So aakyat po siya bilang gobernador.
The COMELEC explained Rosal failed to acquire a temporary restraining order or TRO from the Supreme Court within the allowed period, and their obligation now is to implement the law.
Uutos po kay Governor Rosal na bakantihin po na niya ang posisyon po at ang opisina ng Governor po ng Albay. At ang magpapatupad po nito ay ang ating Department of the Interior and Local Government through the Secretary po.
Meanwhile, the COMELEC assures that they will abide if the Supreme Court will issue a temporary restraining order with status quo ante order in the future in favor of Rosal. In his press conference yesterday, Rosal disclosed that he asked a TRO from the High Court.
Kung meron man pong TRO na marireceive ang COMELEC at ang DLG, kami naman po ay tatalima doon sa kung ano man po ang nakasaad doon sa temporary restraining order.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A Senate panel has begun hearing the proposed bill seeking to reinstitute the Mandatory Reserve Officers Training Corps, or ROTC. However, senators and some groups differ on whether the program should be implemented in secondary or tertiary level. This report will tell us why. Senator Ronald Dela Rosa believes there is a big chance that the proposed mandatory ROTC will be implemented in college. Dela Rosa, who vice chairs the Senate Committee on Higher, Technical and Vocational Education, said a huge budget worth 9.2 billion pesos is needed if the program will be mandated for grades 11 to 12 students. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., during his first State of the Nation address, called on Congress to pass a law to bring back mandatory ROTC in senior high school.
It's obvious that malaki pa ang kakailanganing budget pag kung doon natin i-implement sa grades 11 and 12 dahil start from scratch, from zero. Walang ROTC program ang DepEd.
However, some groups believe the program should be implemented in senior high school, saying that basic training and discipline must be introduced to the youth as early as possible.
Hindi pwedeng yan. Pagdating ng koleyo, atin ka lang, tapos sasabihin mo na magiging nationalistic yan gawa ng ROTC. Pwede. Pero dapat simulan mo sa mas bata pa, yung formulative stage ng bata para tinuturuan mo na siya ng basic survival, love of country.
Basic ROTC in senior high school will not violate the UN protocol on child soldier because number one, we are not training our boys for the purpose of sending them to the battlefield. The power of the President of the Republic to mobilize our reserve force is limited to defensive purposes only. Hindi po niya pwedeng sabihin, lusubin mo ito, activate, mobilize the reserve. Wala pong ganon.
Meanwhile, Dela Rosa adds the version of the government's proposal to reinstitute the mandatory ROTC program has no exemptions to include female students.
gusto ninyo, gender equality. Ayaw nyo i-consider kayo na weaker sex. Di ba? So, lahat tayo, mahalin natin ating bansa. Di ba? Sama-sama tayo dito. Di ba? Kung atakihin tayo dito ng kalaban, hindi lang naman ang lalaki ang tatamaan sa bala, pati babae naman tatamaan ng bala ng kalaban.
When asked about the bill's safeguards against harassment and abuse, the lawmaker says,
may batas tayo na nagko-cover yan sa lahat ng mga krimen na yan. And yung batas na yan, i-apply talaga sa kanila. We have learned enough lessons dito sa ROTC kung bakit ito naging voluntaryo na lang. So alam na ninyo, DND, alam na ninyo, CHED, kung paano nyo dalhin ito na hindi maulit yung mga problema dati.
Dela Rosa is confident that the proposed mandatory ROTC will be passed into law in the first quarter of 2023. The Senate panel will form a technical working group to finalize the contents of the substitute bill. Horadin Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, Iran rejected the United Nations fact-finding missions to investigate potential abuses in Iran's handling of anti-government demonstrations. Annie Mancilia tells us why live. Annie?
Good evening, Kath. Iran refused to cooperate with the United Nations investigation due to its political nature and is only framed as a fact-finding committee, according to its foreign ministry spokesman Nasser Kanani. In a press conference Monday, Kanani said the UN is taking advantage of human rights mechanisms to exert political pressure on independent countries. Last week, Iran formed a local fact-finding mission to look into the mass riots and unrest following the death of custody of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini. The United Nations said more than 300 people were killed during mass protests and almost 14,000 were arrested. The UN has decided to establish a fact-finding team after the majority of the 47-member council voted in favor of the resolution. The UN resolution demands Tehran's cooperation with the Council's Special Rapporteur on Iran. This means that Iran will grant UN the access to their territory, especially to the areas where people have been arrested. Meanwhile, top Iranian officials have repeatedly accused Israel, France, United States, Germany, Saudi Arabia, and United Kingdom of being behind the country's unrest. Kath?
Thank you, Annie Mancilia, reporting live from Singapore. Mauna Loa, the world's largest active volcano located in Hawaii, erupts after 40 years, prompting authorities to issue urgent warnings to the locals. Nerissa Dando will tell us why live. Yes, Nerissa?
Good evening, Kath. Mauna Loa's eruption on Sunday has caused significant ashfall and triggered multiple earthquakes, with the highest one at 4.2 magnitude. Hawaii's National Weather Service issued ashfall warnings for the vulnerable residents, with winds possibly carrying both volcanic gas and ash downwind. Pellets hair or light, thin strands of glass that can pierce the eyes and skin if carried by the wind are also a risk to residents. Those with respiratory illnesses are urged to stay indoors, while those who can go outdoors are urged to wear special protection. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory confirmed that the lava flow at the moment seems to be contained within the zone and should not affect any downslope communities. But any further activity outside the caldera walls can rapidly push the lava downslope. Some residents have already self-evacuated from the South Kona coast. Meanwhile, Neil Corbett, U.S. Geological Survey, states that they are in constant communication with the Hawaii Civil Defense should there be any changes to the volcano's activity, to issue updates to the locals. Beth?
So, Nerissa, when was Mauna Loa's last eruption and how much damage did it cause?
Mauna Loa's last major eruption was back in 1984, where the lava traveled to the Big Island center. Of note, a 1950s eruption saw its lava flowing 24 kilometers out into the ocean in a span of less than 3 hours. The volcano's activity is monitored to be every 6 years over the last 3,000 years. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Nerissa Dando, for that live report from Japan. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Kath. The Philippine Nuclear Research Institute says it is possible for the Bataan nuclear power plant to be operational. According to the agency, it is also possible for the Bataan nuclear power plant to be operational within 5 years. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
The Philippines has opened its doors for nuclear cooperation talks beginning with the United States. According to the White House, the United States is committed with working with the Philippines to increase energy security and deploying advanced nuclear reactor technology. Apart from the United States, the Philippine Nuclear Research Institute said other countries such as South Korea is also eyeing nuclear cooperation talks with the country.
Yung South Korea, meron silang exact model ng planta natin na tumatakbo na ng halos 40 anyos. May offer sila sa atin na buhayin ang planta, pwede raw nilang patakbuhin yung planta within 5 years. Yan po ang pinakamabilis na paraan para magkaroon ng nuclear power sa bansa.
According to PNRI Executive Director Carlo Arcilia, South Korea has a nuclear power plant similar to the Bataan nuclear power plant. This would make it easier to open the power plant's operation within 5 years. The official also said this will be a response to the climate change amid the national government's plan to look for alternative energy and power supply. Unlike coal, oil, or gas power plants, a nuclear power plant produces zero carbon dioxide emission, which makes it viable as an alternative. Director Arcilia said the country needs to build more nuclear power plants to provide the needed power supply in the whole country. However, the official said there is a need to carefully study the locations and safety of an area before building a nuclear power plant. Aside from the United States and South Korea, countries like France and China are also eyeing a strong partnership with the Philippines on nuclear energy. Director Arcilia, however, reiterated that the final decision for nuclear energy still lies with the President and the Department of Energy. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Migrant Workers Secretary Susan Toots Ople has expressed her gratitude to the members of Commission on Appointments, or CA, for her swift confirmation as the first ever secretary of the newly created Department of Migrant Workers under the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Earlier, members of the CA gave recognition to Ople's record as an advocate of migrant workers' rights, saying that Ople is the perfect choice for the job. Ople's ad interim appointment was unanimously confirmed by the bicameral body, with legislators expressing confidence in the secretary's competence, experience, and ability to lead the DMW. Ople said her confirmation would mean strength and stability to the new department in serving OFWs with a solid standing as a designated guardian and protector to migrant workers in their host countries. Ople noted that with the Commission's nod would also mean an affirmation of the rights-based approach to overseas employment, a policy track that has the understanding and approval of the President.
Health experts reiterated the importance of COVID-19 testing and vaccination. Apart from the immunity that one could get through COVID-19 vaccines, it could also help to identify more effective ways to protect the public from COVID-19.
Malaki ang magiging epekto ng bakuna natin, no? Yung coverages ng bakuna natin to determine what will be the appropriate, no? The kumbaga sapat at dapat na magiging policy natin so that we minimize risk for more severe disease and death to as large a number of our population as possible. So yan yung mga dapat pag-aralan with our experts. If number one, do we require and how long, no? Ba natin dapat i-require yung isolation?
However, health experts in the country recommend to study whether isolation will continue when COVID-19 reaches endemic.
That doesn't mean that's the end of the pandemic. Yung end dun means endo, hindi end. It does not mean COVID-19 is harmless. It only means we can predict the impact and we have the tools to control.
If COVID-19 protocols continue to ease, there is a projection that the number of daily cases will reach 2,294, while the number of active cases will reach 18,000 in December.
Due to the name being interpreted as racist and discriminatory, monkeypox, a viral disease currently spreading in more than 100 countries, has been renamed Mpox by the World Health Organization, or WHO. WHO said in a statement that both monkeypox and Mpox can be used for the next year, while the old name is phased out. The spread of Mpox has been declared a global emergency by WHO in August, and to date, more than 80,000 cases has been identified. The disease was thought to originate in animals and has been spreading across Africa, where no vaccines are available, and people are getting infected if in contact with infected animals, such as rodents and squirrels. Most cases out of Africa were due to sexual relationships between men. Mpox was first named in 1958 when research monkeys in Denmark were observed to have a pox-like disease, and this is the first time that WHO has renamed a disease decades after it was first named. Some of the asylum seekers arriving in the United Kingdom are being held in isolation centers, while some are told to isolate in hotel rooms. Maven Dog tells us why live. Maeve?
Kath, cases of diphtheria are increasing among the asylum seekers arriving in the United Kingdom or UK. The case count stood at 39 on November 10, and as of November 25, 50 cases were identified ranging from 2 to 41 years old. Most are men aged 14 to 25 based on UK's Health Security Agency's data. Diphtheria is a highly contagious infection that mainly affects the nose and throat, and in some cases causes painful lesions on the skin. Symptoms of the disease include fever, sore throat, swollen glands on neck, among others. UK Health Security Agency said the most cases of the disease among migrants had the onset of symptoms prior to their arrival. This suggests that infection has occurred during their journey or from the country of origin. Due to the rising number of cases, UK's Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick stated that from Monday, November 28, migrants showing symptoms will be held in isolation for treatment.
The Home Office has worked closely with the NHS and the UK HSA to identify and to isolate anyone with a diphtheria infection, including providing diphtheria vaccinations and moving confirmed cases into isolation.
Kath, this disease can be fatal if not treated quickly, but it is preventable with vaccination. Mr. Jenrick further assured that vaccines are being offered to migrants upon arrival and that their acceptance rate is increasing. For this year, Kath, UK's provisional total of asylum seekers that have arrived in the UK is 42,190. Kath?
Thank you, Maven Dog, for that report live from Australia. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I'm Kat Maraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. Good evening.
Meanwhile, liquefied petroleum gas is expected to increase starting December 1, according to the Oil Industry Management Bureau. To other businesses, it will cost them struggle as this would result to a 2 consecutive months of price increase. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The Department of Energy confirms that by December 1, a price increase to liquefied petroleum gas or LPG products is expected. The Oil Industry Management Bureau or OIMB cannot tell yet the exact amount that will be added to LPG. This will be the second month of consecutive increase as LPG companies also imposed price increase this November, which is nearly 4 pesos per kilo of LPG.
Normally, naglalabas talaga ng news para sa LPG, yung tinatawag na contract price, siguro day before the adjustment. Kasi ang adjustment ng LPG kada start of the month, so December 1. So, mga katapusan ng Nobyembre, doon tayo makakakita talaga kung ano yung kadahilanan, bakit tumaas o bumaba ang presyo. Pero as far the industry is concerned, sa naririnig ko, yun nga, may namumurong pagtaas. Hindi pa lang namin alam kung magkano.
With the consecutive increase of LPG, business owners now struggle to make adjustments to balance their capital expenses and to earn revenue as well. An eatery in Quezon City made an adjustment on their servings in order to gain profit due to soaring price of LPG instead of raising the prices of their menu.
Ginagawa namin, ang presyo namin sa serving namin same pa rin, pero nag-adjust kami ng konti sa ulam. Parang binawasan na lang namin ng konti yung servings para at least yung customer bumabalik pa rin sa amin.
A bake shop in Quezon City made a likewise decision. They made their bread smaller for the same amount of its price.
Imbis po na itaas namin yung presyo, lilitan na lang po yung tinapay para at least kahit papano may kinikita pa rin po. Pero hindi po ganun kalaki. Yung kumbaga pang masa lang po talaga siya. Namura pa rin po, affordable pa rin.
Meanwhile, a vendor of banana fritters in Quezon City switched to a smaller tank of LPG as he cannot afford a larger one due to its expensive price.
Kaya ang ginagawa ko na lang, halimbawa yung kawali nilagyan ko ng mantika, hanggat kaya mong lagyan mo. Kang bibigyan ng awang yung mantika kung maaari, yun na lang diskarte. Sabay-sabay na.
As of today, the 11 kilograms of LPG tank cost 935 pesos. The 6 kilograms cost 611 pesos, while the 2.7 kilograms cost 253 pesos. In a separate interview, the Department of Energy previously said that on January next year, the LPG price will ease out as this would be the utilization period. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Merriam-Webster Dictionary has announced its 2022 word of the year, and that is gaslighting. Gaslighting is defined as mind manipulating, grossly misleading, downright deceitful, or as the act or practice of grossly misleading someone, especially for one's own advantage. The recorded lookups for the said word on Merriam-Webster.com has reached 1,740% this year, said on Monday, November 28. According to the dictionary publisher, the origins of the term gaslighting date back to a 1938 play which involves a man attempting to make his wife believe that she is going insane. In a statement, Merriam-Webster's editor-at-large Peter Sokolowski said, the word gaslighting has risen so quickly in the English language, and especially in the last 4 years. He added that it actually came as a surprise to him and to everyone.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of James, chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble." The reasons behind the news, November 29, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Hardin Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.